let's talk about tokens and also make our own token. So far, the only token we've discussed is Sol, which we use to pay transaction fees when making our favorites and voting contracts. Sol is the native token of Solana, which means it's built into Solana itself. But if you use blockchain in the real world, you've probably used many tokens other than Sol. On Solana, these are called SPL tokens. If you're wondering about the name, SPL is the Solana program library, a bunch of smart contracts which include the program you use to create and transfer tokens. For the rest of the course, we'll just refer to SPL tokens as tokens. Tokens are used to represent everything apart from Sol. There are tokens for stablecoins like USDC, NFTs, and real-world assets like equities, metals, commodities, dog tokens, and nearly anything else. Tokens are produced by token mints. Token mints are factories that make a particular token. The factory is run by a person called the Mint Authority. The Mint Authority must sign all the transactions that mint new tokens. Each distinct token on Solana has its own mint. For example, when I purchased my beer earlier, I paid with USDC, a popular stablecoin, a token whose value is tied to a fiat currency like USD. USDC is made by a company called Circle, and they have the token mint address published on their website. The company Circle is the mint authority for USDC. When we create our own mint with the token program, we'll set ourselves as the mint authority. The mint authority can mint, i.e. create, new SPL tokens into any address, including their own. When an account receives the tokens, it will need somewhere to store these tokens, since regular accounts only store Sol. So we'll create an associated token account to store that. An associated token account is just a PDA with the seeds made from the wallet address and the token mint address. For example, I can always find Alice's USDC token account by looking up the PDA based on her wallet address and the USDC mint. And I can always find Bob's USDC token account by looking up the PDA based on his wallet address and the USDC mint. And I can always find Alice's dog token account by looking up the PDA based on her wallet address and the dog token mint. You get the idea. Let's make a token. So let's make a token. We'll be using the command line tools here, but the concepts are exactly the same as if you were using the JavaScript or TypeScript tools. We'll also be using the new token program called Token Extensions that features a bunch of useful features that we can add to our tokens. One of those is the metadata feature, which allows us to have our metadata, all the things you see about the token, like a name and a description, directly inside the token mint. And if you don't know what that means, that's fine. All it means is that we'll be taking less time because we have less things to work on. So let's open a command line. Let's see that we have Solana command line installed. Great. Let's make a new directory called new token. And let's change into that directory. We are now in a big old empty directory, and the first thing we're going to need to make is what's called a mint authority. If you think of a token mint, like the actual physical mint that prints tokens, you can think of the mint authority as being the boss of that mint. They're the person that needs to sign all the transactions to mint new tokens. If you're not the mint authority, you can't mint tokens for a given mint. So let's make that. We're going to make a key pair for our mint authority. And we're going to run the command Solana keygen grind. And we're going to say -- starts with. And we'll say BOS, BOS, and then 1. And I'm not a good typist, especially when I'm recording. Solana keygen grind starts with BOS1, and if you give it a moment, it will go and make a key pair file. So there we go. Our file is called BOS something.json, whatever the public key is that matches the private key inside. So we now have our BOS something or other.json file. Let's make Solana use that key pair to sign all our transactions. So we do Solana config set -- key pair BOS something.json, whatever your JSON file is called. And it'll respond immediately, and we can see that our key pair path has now changed to be whatever our BOS file is.
At the same time, we should also make sure that the Solana command line tools are using devnet, because that's where we're going to make our token. That is Solana config set --URL devnet. And you can see in the response that the settings are now updated to use Solana devnet. We can also double check that if we just do a Solana config get. At any time, we can always check what key pair file and what network we're connected to. So we've created our mint authority, but because this account's going to be writing to the blockchain, they need some SOL to make those accounts. So we have our boss something or other is the public key of our mint authority. Let's go to, say, faucet.solana.com, paste in that wallet address, and look, 1 SOL is fine, 0.5 SOL is fine, and we'll ask for that SOL on DevNet, and we can get some free DevNet SOL. Excellent. That says airdrop was successful, and if we do Solana balance, we can see that our balance is 0.5 SOL. So we've made our mint authority, which is going to be the boss of our token, the account that has the permission to create new tokens or mint new tokens. And we've given our mint authority a little bit of SOL to make new accounts. Great. The next thing to do is to actually make the token mint. So we're going to give our token mint a fancy address. It's just going to start with MNT, just so we can remember it's our mint. So we'll run Solana keygen, and we will say grind an address that starts with MNT, and we only need one of those addresses. Give it a moment, and it will create an address that starts with MNT something.json. So that address is where we're going to put our token mint. Let's put a token mint at that address. That is SPL token, create token, and we're going to specify the program ID of the token extensions program, which starts with token and then a Z and then all this other stuff. So I'll just paste that in. And we want to use the metadata extension because it makes our lives easier. Enable metadata. And we will say our address to use to make our new token. Great, that's done. So we've now made a new token on Solana. The address of our token is the same as the one we ground earlier. It has 9 decimals, which means that if you've ever transferred SOL before, you'll notice that to send 1 SOL, you send 1 billion LAN ports. It's the same with our new token. We've specified 9 decimal places, so you send 1 billion whole minor units to send 1 major unit. This is actually not even a blockchain thing. It's a financial programming thing. Whenever you send someone $2.50 in the real world, you probably actually send them 250 cents. And it's because computers don't handle decimal very well. They work in binary. So if we always send whole numbers of whatever the minor unit is, cents, LAN ports, your own token's minor unit, it makes it easier for the computers. So we've made our new mint. Let's go check it out in Solana Explorer. So I'm in Solana Explorer, and I will say devnet, thank you very much. And I will paste in our token mint address and check it out. It says unknown token. It says a token 22 mint, which is using token extensions. There haven't been any tokens minted yet. 9 decimals, as we just talked about. And there's not really that much here. There's no kind of metadata or anything yet. And it says unknown token. So let's fix that. Let's add some metadata. Now, to do that, you're going to need to upload, firstly, an image and then a JSON file somewhere public on the internet. If we were making a token for mainnet, a real serious production token, we would probably want to use a decentralized storage service, somewhere like Arweave, or Iris, that is basically kind of like a blockchain, but for JSON files and images and all that kind of stuff, rather than, Solana is a blockchain for transactions like traditional blockchains. These decentralized storage services are designed to keep things online for a really long time because they're not owned by anybody, and they're resilient to attacks and all this kind of stuff. They're a good place to put something that you want to be around for a really long time. In our case, this is just a test token. So we're going to use GitHub, and we'll just be using those raw GitHub links. The important thing to realize here is that our link has to just open our image file or our JSON file directly. No HTML, no anything else around. Make sure that when you visit that link in your web browser, it just shows an image file or some JSON, depending on the image or the JSON. So upload the image first, add it to a metadata file that looks a little bit like this. You'll just have a name, a symbol, a description, and the image that you uploaded earlier. Take that metadata file and upload it to somewhere public as well. Make sure that you have a URL that loads your metadata file directly in your browser. For example, I have one right here. There we go. So I can now add that metadata to my token. So SPL token, and we're going to say initialize metadata, and we're going to specify our token. I'm just going to get it from the file name, our MNT file name. And we're going to specify a name for our token and a symbol like. And then finally, that URL to get to that JSON file. And then Solana will go and take that JSON file and put that image, put that data, I mean to say, directly inside the blockchain. You'll see everything has gone successfully. And if we go back to Solana Explorer at this point and reload our token, you'll see unknown token has been replaced by example, as we specified before. And now there's a whole bunch of metadata, our name, symbol, the URI with the image. That's all now showing on Solana Explorer. So great. We now have a token mint and it looks nice. So we can use this token mint to mint tokens. Let's mint some tokens, and as the mint authority, we can mint them into anyone's account, but let's mint some into our own account so that we can transfer them out to other people if we like. SPL token. We're going to need a token account in our personal mint authority account just to store these tokens. So create accounts for this mint. So we're just making a PDA or an associated token account to store just these tokens in our own personal account. Once we've done that, we can go and mint some new tokens. That's SPL token mint our token, which is MNT something or other. And how many tokens do we want? Let's say 100, maybe 1,000 tokens. So that's good. Done. Let's go and look at, firstly, our token mint and then our own personal account to see what's changed. So if we go back to Solana Explorer and look at the token mint again, you can see the current supply, which is the amount of tokens that have ever been minted, is 1,000. In fact, let's mint another 1,000. You can see Solana Explorer updates again, and you can see 2,000 tokens have been minted. Also, let's check our personal account as the mint authority, which we called, what was it, BOS something or other. There we go. And if we check in our own account, we can see that 0.5 SOL that we gave to ourselves earlier, minus a few transaction fees. But more importantly, if we check in tokens, we can see that we have 2,000 of these tokens, and the type of tokens is our token mint address that we made before. We can transfer these tokens, we can burn them, we can delegate them, we can do all the normal things we do with Solana tokens. So there you go. You now have your own token. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next chapter.